Hey everybody, it's Bevan James Eyles here. I'm in my little office here in Christchurch, New Zealand. This is my home office. It's a very small space and I work from home. So here's where I am right now. I got sent through some questions from the team at I'm Australia Rocks Auckland.com or blogspot.com, and they just got a few questions that they wanted me to answer for you guys, so I thought I'd chuck my little photo booth on my Mac and answer some of those questions. So here we go. The first question they have for me is, tell us about the new Body Attack. Well, Body Attack 86 I think it's really awesome, to be honest. It was one of those releases when I got the music from Lisa, I listened to it, and right from the start I knew musically I liked the whole release. It was not one of those songs where you kind of go, not for me. It was like the whole release completely with music was really great. When it comes to the movement of music, obviously we're really hitting down that really great dynamic of aerobic, sports and strength conditioning. And again, Lisa's just getting better and better at getting the fit of those to work well within the complete workout. You'll notice a couple of little things within this release. For example, like in the warm-up, we're losing the clap. And I know traditionally we like to do all the claps, but we're trying to go more down the sporting path in some areas, and those types of shifts are actually a big part of where we're moving in the program. So I really like the release, and I'm pretty sure that you guys will too. What was the highlight of this quarter's filming? I think there's a couple of highlights for me. I think the first thing was to see how the new instructors came along and did a great job. As you've kind of been around the block a little bit, it becomes less about you and it's more about, seeing people do really well. And both Claire and Theo, Claire from Australia and Theo from Malaysia, they came along and, the filming week is a pretty intensive week and you get a lot of feedback from some very high level people, and, people have to make big shifts in that week. And on the filming day, both of those guys stepped up to the plate and did just a fantastic job. So I don't know, it was just I remember there's one moment in track 8 where Theo just points and he just held this really cool kind of musical moment, and I remember just thinking, yeah, he nailed it. And that was one of the highlights. On a personal level, I had 3 completely different tracks. So I had a strength track, the plyo track, which was very kind of strong, commanding, and demanding in the way it needed to be taught. And then I had the circle track, which was kind of fun and a bit more upbeat. And then I had the strength track at the end, which was a bit more of a calm track. And my goal going into the release was to show really 3 different styles in the way I was teaching that track. And when we watched the film, I felt I did, I kind of got on top of that. So that was probably my personal highlight. Tell us about the rehearsal process for filming. The rehearsal process is a really interesting experience, and I often wonder if someone were to do a management study of the Body Attacks team experience around getting towards high performance for filming day, because it's such a, there's a lot of trust that comes with it. You come along and there's an expectation that you need to do a great job on your ability as an instructor, but to also do a great job around showing instructors where the program is and how they should be teaching it in the real world. And the filming process, that week leading up to it's all about that. So you come along and each day you'll basically spend time working on your script, doing a bit of teamwork, and then you'll teach a class, which is often filmed. Pretty much every class is filmed. Then you'll go back and you'll watch that film. So it's a continuous experience of feedback, evolution, and then practice. And as the week progresses, you just, you're getting more refined and more defined around how you're going to be on the day. Ultimately, by the time you get up and actually do the filming, it's set in stone. So you're not really making shifts that close to filming day. By day beforehand, you should be really in place with your filming. And what I like about the process is it is very challenging and it is very demanding, but there's great support and there's also this fundamental trust that you're going to get there. And again, I think with this latest release, Body Attack 86, the team really stepped up to the plate. Have I ever been to Australia, and how did I find it, and do I have any plans to visit soon? My questions are over there, so that's why I look over there. I've been to Australia maybe 40 times in my life. Obviously being a New Zealander, going to Australia as a holiday destination is what we do. I'm actually off to Melbourne in 2 weeks from now with my lovely partner Joe. We love going to Melbourne. It's a great kind of place to spend 10 days, so we're going to be doing that. And then, but I've also been fortunate to be over there to present at workshops at Eyles and some of the big events that you guys have over there. I think I've been to Perth, Melbourne, Brisbane and Sydney for your workshops. I love coming to Australia and teaching for you guys because there's just a real passion for body attack in Australia. And like I remember going to Eyles and the attack class was just mind-blowing. And you could just see this room of fit attackers who had a real passion for the program. And I've been very fortunate to go around Australia, and that's the experience I've had, is that you guys love body attack and you guys really care about the program and really just, we all share this amazing passion. And so I feel very privileged and honoured to be able to go to Australia and have those experiences. Next question. How do I get involved in Les Mills and why do I continue to be a part of the tribe? I actually joined the gym because I was a rugby league player, and I know I'm a bit of a skinny runt nowadays, but back in the day I was, trying to get big for rugby league, and I joined the gym, and a friend of mine who also played rugby league with me, he said I should try body attack, and so I tried body attack and instantly was hooked, as I'm sure you all were. So I went and did the module, and I remember at the time I was at university, and I thought it's a good way for me to be able to earn some income while I was at university. And pretty much straight away, it became very clear that, what I was doing at university wasn't my passion and gym was. So I pretty much just quit university and came down this path. And that's really how it started. Why do I continue to be a part of it? I totally believe in what this is about. We get to share, we get to help people in life, and we get to share this thing we're passionate about and help people, everyday people become better people. And I've been very fortunate. Like I've done the DVDs, I've done traveled conferences and all the great experiences you can have within Les Mills. I've been lucky to have those experiences. But what I've learned is that ultimately the best experience you can have is to have your weekly class with the people who you know and have that shared experience with all the time. Like, they really are the best classes. And, I feel that within my local community, we get to be someone who has a positive effect on that. And so there's that bigger sense of tribe around what Les Mills represents. But actually, it's the tribe you have with the people you connect with every day. That's where I feel the most reward. So yeah, that's why I see myself continuing on with, this journey within Les Mills. I just need to cough. There you go. What would be my message to any Australian instructors considering attending the filmings? I would say just do it. When it comes to the Australians, you have the easiest option of turning up to filmings. It's just across the ditch. Financially, if we compare to the Asian countries, the Americans, the European countries, it's much less of a financial commitment. And the filming weeks are awesome. Even, obviously for us, we're on this film, so we're kind of working. But what I love about the filming weeks is that each time you turn up and there's a bunch of people from all around the world who are there just to experience the filming week. And those people connect as well. So you'll get people from Australia, people from America, people from all out Europe and Asia and, these random parts of the world. And we have this shared thing we do together. So these social interactions come along and these people connect, and it's just really cool to see. And then you get to come along to filming day, and filming day is just awesome. You come along and you get to see, the names that the faces and the names you've always seen, and it's just really cool. Everyone you speak to who turns up to filming week, talk about how much they love it, and I don't think I've ever heard anyone say they regret coming to filming week. So if you're in Australia, you might want to save a bit of money, but set that money aside and really invest in coming on over. I will say, if you can time it around the GFX, which happens pretty much every 18 weeks, it's even better. So maybe 18 months, it's even better. So you could look at doing that. Next question. How many classes do I teach? Which programs and where? Well, my everyday classes, I'm based out of Christchurch in New Zealand. So I have a gym in Christchurch, Les Mills Christchurch. I teach body attack, RPM, I've just picked up grit, which I haven't even started teaching, which I start in about 2 weeks. What I say? Attack, CX, RPM, grit, pump, and I sometimes teach a little bit of step. What's my favourite program? It's a really hard question to answer because different programs offer different things. Like, I love the mind of exercise, and I love getting inside people's heads and trying to explore how far can I push them. And I love that about RPM because you have the time and the space to explore that place. And then I love the high energy of body attack, the explosiveness, but I also like the fact that body attack has a bit of fun. So, there's that as well. I like the power of pump. I will say probably pump's the program I struggle with the most. Not that I struggle with it in big time, but I do find sometimes when you have a class where the energy's a bit flat in pump, it's a harder program to turn around. Whereas in the movement program, it's a lot easier. You never really have the flat moment. Whereas in pump, occasionally I have that moment, and I don't know if I've mastered how to turn that around in the moment. So that's a good challenge of pump. So that's probably where I sit within those. Who is Bevan James Eyles outside of Les Mills? It's a really interesting question. I've worked hard in my career to create something outside of this world. Like, I love Les Mills, but I've always tried to make sure I'm not dependent on Les Mills for my career, but also for my esteem. So I've worked hard to develop these other sides of myself. And so outside of Les Mills, I do a lot of content creation. I write for my local newspaper. I have some podcasts. I have 2 triathlon podcasts, which are pretty successful. I also do a podcast called Fitness Behavior, which is again very successful. It's all around the world, and I've got thousands of listeners all around the world. One of the things I'm most proudest of is recently I've written a book which will be coming out in August this year, so hopefully you'll hear about that closer to the time. Outside of fitness, I also have a running business. I've got a business here in Christchurch where we train hundreds of people each week towards running goals, which is really rewarding as well. Outside of fitness, I play piano. Music is my other passion in life, and I spend about 90 minutes to 2 hours a day playing piano. And recently I've just joined a band, which I'm really enjoying. It's very challenging for me, but I do love it. What else do I do? I have a lovely partner, my partner Jo. She's the best partner in the world. I've got a 17-year-old daughter who's had a really great time in her life. 13 to 16 is hard work, and then they kind of grow up and become mature, and recently she's just turned into this kind of beautiful person who's very interesting. So I'm really enjoying that. That's pretty much me outside of Les Mills. What do you like doing? It's kind of, she's asking what do I like doing outside of fitness, and it's those things, probably music. I do love listening to great content, so I listen to a lot of books and podcasts. What else do I love doing outside of fitness? That's pretty much it, really. Who is your hero and why? It's a really interesting question. There's lots of people I can look to and be inspired by, and when you're in this industry, there's obviously, like I look at Lisa Osborne right now with what she's doing with her CrossFit stuff. The girl is killing it, and I admire that about her. But my real heroes are the people who remind me about what's important about our job. And to me, I ultimately don't think it's the six-pack abs. I really don't think that's actually the value of what we do. I think the value of what we do is that exercise is one of the most powerful things in our lives to help people liberate themselves, to help people discover higher levels of self, to become a better person, and to become more acceptable of themselves and others. And for me, the 2 people who have been inspirations and role models for me, and that is Mid Thomas, who I'm sure a lot of you know, and a guy called Suli from Christchurch. And Suli is an instructor in Christchurch who's also done a couple of Vive DVDs, so you may know him if you do Vive. And those 2 people have always reminded me what's really important in our job. And to me, that exercise is a great way to help people become better people. And that's, I see my job as a fitness professional is to keep reminding people and to create ways to help people do that. And those 2 people are my real inspiration and role models around that way of thinking. What makes me smile? I'm really easily pleased on this one. I'm very fortunate. Like, I'm a happy person. I don't really struggle with myself, and I don't really struggle. I live a great life. I've got a great life, and so I'm very easily pleased. I remember when I was a kid, I did a course, and one of the greatest compliments I ever got in my life was this, one of those, I don't know, courses you do as a school kid, and you had to write nice things about people in your class. And one person wrote, "Bevan always smiles," and I kind of thought that was a really nice thing to have said about you. And so I'm really easily pleased when it comes to this. Good people, good challenges, and just fun stuff about life. What would make the world a better place? I ultimately think this one comes down to people being kinder to themselves. I'm very fortunate in my life. I get a lot of insight into the struggles of others. I do a little bit of mentoring within my roles, and you learn how much so many people are actually struggling in life. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. There's expectations, there's lots of pressures and all these things in our life that make life a struggle for a lot of people. And I always wonder, is being hard on yourself actually the greatest strategy? Like, there's a lot of people out there who kind of hate themselves or are just so mean to themselves, and they never treat other people that way. And I wonder if those people could learn to be kind to themselves and to accept themselves in a way that's really healthy for their mind and the rest of them. What would be the implications? Like, if we all lived in a world where we could be kind to ourselves, how would the world be different? And I actually think that's a really good use of people's time and energy, is to spend their time in their life trying to figure that stuff out. And so I suppose for me, what would make the world a better place is people being kinder to themselves. What exciting projects what would people be surprised to learn about me? I'm a really open person. I tell everyone everything. So there's not much that I haven't really revealed about myself. What would people be surprised to learn about me? Again, I've shared most things, but probably the biggest thing is that when I was younger, I was a big time druggie and a bit of a leading down the alcoholic path, and it was pretty much a drop kick. And but fortunately, I was able to turn my life around. But I've definitely experienced that life in some pretty extreme ways. So that's maybe one thing about myself. What exciting projects do I have coming and do I want to let you know about? Ultimately, it's my book. I've written a book. I hired a batch and went away and wrote a book in a week. And I'm working with my publisher literally right now. So we're doing the final edits, and we're getting the name and the cover and all that stuff sorted out. And it's going to be coming out sometime in August, so only in a few months from now. And I'm really excited about getting this book out to there. I think it's a different angle, and I think it's an important message to get out there, and hopefully it's a message that can help more and more people be successful with exercise. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe look at my Facebook page or the rest of it. I do a lot of writing and a lot of content creation. So if you want to check out my website, it's bevanjameseyles.com, and you can read all my weekly pieces and my podcasts and all that kind of information. Other than that, that's probably my most exciting thing in my life right now. Oh, the band. Obviously, we're going to be the biggest band in the world within the next year, so look out for the band. Any other information? No, I think ultimately I need to say thank you to you guys. We're all doing the work, and you guys bring so much passion and time and energy and effort into this thing that we share. And I'm very lucky that I get to represent us at a high level, and I do respect that, and I always try to maintain a quality that does show respect to this thing we do. But really, it's you guys who are out there doing the work with your people in your community. And so if I have anything to say, is just keep being great and keep doing what you do, because it is important work. And so thanks for your time. Hopefully you enjoyed my office, and hopefully if you ever get to see me or meet me, come up and say hello. I'm never shy. I love talking to people, as I'm sure you can tell right now. So there you go. Thanks for your time, guys.